Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. There is a sefer called Manis Alevi, which is primarily on the Megillas Esther. When you read there on the Pasuk Vashasiya Kados, there is a fascinating thing that he says. He says, where is the source, or what's the reason that we find that when a young child, a parent is trying to put a young child to sleep, a baby to sleep, they sing a lullaby. They sing a lidla. The Rebbe spoke about that by Yidden they have special nagunim. Torah is the best eschera. Everybody in their family has the tradition to sing nice, pleasant nagunim as to try to put the baby to sleep. Where is this from? So he says like this. Listen to this. Ki koyach hanigun v'hamuzik arayv me'oid l'nefesh ha'adam. The power of song is very sweet to the soul of the person. Why? Because the soul of the person murgales l'shmoya nigunim b'yoysa b'shamayim ayidei malachim. When the baby was developing in the mother's womb, it had some friends, malachim, as the Gemara says. The malachim taught him Torah. The neshama comes from Shamayim. It's surrounded with malachim. And the nefesh, the neshama in Shamayim, always hears nigunim, always hears songs. So because this is a brand new baby, a neshama that just came down still has the connection, the beauty, the connection to song. So when you sing a song to a young child, it gives him the strength, the sweetness that he needs to fall asleep. Only after he hears that beautiful song, Yiplu aleim chavle shena, he will get tired, the tia areva shnasam, and they'll have a good sweet sleep. Because they have this effect, they have this drawing to what's in Shamayim, what they just heard the last couple of months or a year or two ago. So we see that the minhag to sing a lullaby is even a source in Yiddishkeit. And I'll tell you a second point. A crib. To put a baby in a crib, where does that come from? So you're going to say, why does a baby need a big bed? A baby needs a small bed. So that's a crib. Where does it start? At a crib, we make the crib shake the baby to fall asleep. What's the mucker for that? So actually, you'll be shocked. The Medrash says that until Yitzchak Avinu came around, the Medrash says a fascinating thing. By Noach, says the Medrash, when a child was born, a day when a mother gave birth to a child during the day, right then, a couple of minutes later, she would tell the son, go get me a glass or get me a sharp stone, to cut the cord. I need something to help. So the child just born was big enough to able to walk on his own feet. That night she would say to the child, go get me a candle because I need some light to see if I'm doing the right thing. So up to Yitzchak's time, it says that the children were born big enough, they didn't need mature enough, a small bed wouldn't, it's hard to understand, but there was no need for a small crib because they were big enough, they were able to walk around and manage themselves. When Yitzchak came about, it says that on the pasuk Vayigamel Hayeled, and Avram Avinu made a mishta, Avram Avinu made a party, it says he was the first one that was mutal ba'arisa. He was the first one that was placed in a crib, in a small bed. As I mentioned before, until then, the children were bigger, the children were able to walk. A small bed, a crib, started with Yitzchak. That's what the Medrash says. Where does it come about that the crib we make it to be able to shake the bed to help him fall asleep, the baby fall asleep? So some Mefarshim, and actually it's brought in Sefer Karen Or Pnei Moshe, in Parashas Miketz, says this is based on what we know from the Zohar. The Zohar says that why is it that you watch a Yid davening, you see he's walking and shaking, it's totally involved in what he's doing, and he's shaking and shuckling, because it's the neshama that's in him, and the neshama it's in him is Neir Hashem Nishmas Adam. It's like a flickering candle. Most of the time you don't see a fire standing still. A fire is flickering, jumping. So because when you're daven, you're attaching yourself to the neshama, the Neir Hashem Nishmas Adam, that's what makes a Yid shuckle. And that's why we find that the Yidden, by davening, by doing a mitzvah, shuckle. So what comes about? Based on this, he says, the whole shuckling, the whole shaking of a crib was a Yiddish custom. It started off as a Yiddish custom. The Yiddish mama, the Yiddish tata wanted to infuse the spirit, the chayis, to this little child and say, we hope and pray that when you grow up, you will have the enthusiasm, you'll have the chayis, you'll have the flickering neshama burn within you, that you'll run to do mitzvahs, you'll learn Torah, you'll run to daven. And to symbolize that, they would shake the crib to infuse this feeling in the child. So much so, we know that Chazal tell us that the concept of zrizus, the concept of doing things in a swift manner, started with Avram Avinu. Until Avram Avinu, people were relaxed, people weren't rushing anywhere. Avram taught us, Vayashkem Avram Baboiker. And Avram wanted to infuse this into his children, that Yiddishkeit, connection to Hashem, is done swift, lebedik, with his chayis and his slavus. And that's why Avram was the first one to put his child in a arisa, in a baby crib, because of the size. Ad Shabbat Yitzchak, there was no arisa, and the shaking was to show this his slavus, that it hope and pray that the children should grow to have for Torah and mitzvahs.